Hey everyone, I'm Lawrence with FWLA Fashion Week Los Angeles, here with Moods of Norway, 2/3 of the founders and designers, Simon and Stefan. Moods of Norway, huge brand. Kind of want to know exactly what was the first big break for you guys.
Our first break was probably when we opened our first flagship store and right next door to Louis Vuitton in Oslo. We come from a city of 7,000 people, so an opening next to the biggest luxury brand in the world was a pretty big thing for us.
Wow.
We had our first Norwegian fashion show at Oslo Fashion Week in 2004, I believe, and we created Moods of Norway as a full lifestyle brand. So we have everything from very casual to a little bit dressy to full-on black tuxedos.
I think one of the things that we brought to the table was colorful and happy clothing with a Scandinavian twist, because our whole mantra always been happy clothes for happy people.
We're part of that whole Scandinavian wave of fashion, like Acne, J. Lindeberg, nudie jeans, but also given the fact that we play with a little bit more of color and interesting stories and details, kind of puts us in the English Attitude brand family.
I see, okay, we've got a team of two, actually it's a team of three, but what's the design process? How does that get started?
Well, we built Moods of Norway like a rock and roll band, where everybody have their unique abilities and then play each other good. The beauty of being a group of best friends growing up together, creating this together, is that we never actually run out of ideas. It's just that we just have to put everything in line and try to process it, because we always think that we are probably one of the best to execute on ideas. So one thing is coming up with it, everybody could come up with a good idea, but I think we're better at executing it all the time.
Now, how did you two meet?
We were both randomly going to university in Hawaii, in Honolulu. I didn't really know Simon, but we came to this Christmas party and we apparently been dating the same girl. So it got pretty interesting for a second, but then we became best friends and yeah, the rest is history.
What made you choose Los Angeles for your flagship store?
I think the reason we started out in Los Angeles in the US is that this is the entertainment capital of the world, and our most prominent or most extravagant part of the collection is the cocktail Moods of Norway, and it's made for rock stars and people that want to be on stage and stuff like that, so I think it fits like a glove with the lifestyle and the attitude of this fantastic city.
What excites you most about what you see going on here in LA?
Oh, it's super exciting to be here in LA. We just 2 weeks ago we did the Oslo Runway Fashion Week show, which was a super success. It was in Italian Vogue, Vanity Fair was there. I think the colors, the palette we're bringing, the patterns and everything like that, it really belongs on the West Coast.
Yeah, and I think Moods of Norway is bringing a little bit more of a dressy theme to the LA fashion market. We see a lot of t-shirts and jeans here, which is great, but I think as Moods of Norway we're very happy to also bring the sport coats and a little bit more of the tailored items.
Where do you see LA going in like the next, I'll say 5 years, 5 to 10 years, as far as like fashion trends and things like that?
Well, you see, like the global trends is that the world is getting smaller, everything is getting faster, everything is more day to evening. There's a big crossovers from all the different directions, sport and fashion. It's a big mix that you're probably going to see getting a lot bigger, as well as different textures. The play with textures is also getting bigger. It's an enormous trend where you see sport textiles going into fashion textiles, for example.
So I think the biggest trend right now when it comes to fashion shows is that more and more brands decide to show the collection in season on a consumer schedule, which means that now Spring 16, we're showing Spring 16, so that when the consumer, they get inspired, they see the shows, and then right the next week later they can go and buy the actual garment.
What do you guys have planned for this particular season?
Now, so for Spring 16, Moods of Norway has a fantastic collection inspired by the Norwegian coastline. We have a little bit of colors from rusty anchors from up in the north to beautiful golden sand beaches in Stavanger area.
For Spring 16, prints is a big trend. We have a lot of Norwegian plants, inspiration from the sea, from shells, also play with different textures, small and big patterns.
Yeah, one little quirky detail is that we've paid quite a bit of attention to the shrimp. So we made some ties with shrimp. We have a few shrimp-inspired t-shirts, and I think that quirkiness, you know, mixed with kind of traditional, little more tailored pieces, again, pretty much represents the DNA of the Moods of Norway brand.
It's a tighter color palette. There are a lot of blues, a lot of deep reds with the accent color of a lighter yellow. But I think all in all, this is by far our best collection, and we're really happy to show it in Los Angeles.